I'm starting to populate the foreground of my scene more with some grass elements. And you can see some of the ways that this works going back to Paint Geometry tool. One thing that happens is when you do this, it does create a group, and that group is tied to the name of this Paint Geometry tool. So at some point you're not going to be able to paint anymore because it's going to have filled up the U and V grid size for this identifier geometry. So you would have to make a new one called something else. Another thing is that I painted this, but I turned the transparency on my water back up to 1 so that I could see where I'm accidentally adding these underwater, and that's going to look a little silly and probably cause some alpha problems. But one problem is, how do I manually place these in a way that's nice? Well, what you can do is in your outliner, you'll have this group that was created with this geom namespace. Here's all the rocks I made that were first off using the initial settings, for better or worse. So they're all grouped individually, and they're not instanced, they're on duplicate. So I'll probably end up merging them at some point, or doing something destructive. But here you can see all the grasses, and because I didn't change that name, the grass cards got created in the same version. But what's great is in the outliner, you can use your arrow keys, left and right, to go left and right within a hierarchy. So I can go through this and start seeing these, and manually placing them and scaling them. The scaling algorithm for when you're using this is oftentimes 0 to 1. So the lowest it'll scale is a small version, but the highest it'll scale is higher than a maximum of 1. So you might want to end up first off either doing it manually like this, which is what I'm doing. If you go up arrow, it'll instead go to the parent in the hierarchy, which would be the group. We don't want to do that, so we want to keep using the arrows. So all these are going to be some subordinate number of 1. And that means that you might want your initial instance to be a little bigger. It might just mean that you go around and manually scale these. This one I have rotated backwards, and I'm not sure if that's going to cause any normal problems, but the best way to check is just do a quick render. Hopefully this works the same frontwards and backwards. Yeah, it looks fine. And you can already see the reflections starting to be nice here. But you can also see problems where the grass is underwater. So we do not want that. I haven't given up the search for a brush-based interface for Maya to do this sort of thing. I really think you should be able to either brush particles or brush hair on and have that hair emit like this. Perhaps the solution is in Paint Effects, maybe we can paint this on and then replace each node using find and replace. Because I know that there has to be a smarter way to do this. However, for the foreground, I'm okay doing this because this is going to be a major part of the scene, and so I probably would have ended up doing this anyway. Stay tuned.